Don't slow down, baby. Don't slow down.
What's up guys, Alec from Arizona out here, and when I initially started this video, the build review video on the Gravity, my thought was just to have a video of the unboxing and kind of putting it together. And then as I got into that and started doing it, I realized that's kind of shortchanging the motor and a review, because if it flies like garbage, why would I even put that up? So Most of the video is a build review, a couple of first flights. At this point I've got about 12 hours on the motor. It's been awesome, it's everything. Foremost, the build quality is second to none. Purely my opinion on this, there's two brands out there that I think are just killing it as far as the quality of their machine, and that would be Scout and Parajet, any one of the Parajet models. They're built like a nice car or anything that's quality, a fine watch. It breaks down very small, so the largest piece is going to be your motor or chassis, if you will, and it's really a Vitarazi thing, that kind of the way the exhaust bends, it takes up some real estate. But beyond that, everything fits in the gear bag, with the exception of the harness and the gas tank. So you would have four pieces, if you will. You're going to have your engine and your chassis, your gear bag, which it's nice to have, the prop, the cage, the spars, the tools, all the hardware, and then your harness and your fuel tank. The first thing is the adaptive comfort system, and that refers to the swing arms that are adjustable in and out, both the left and right. I believe they have 6 positions. I could be wrong on that, but there's a lot of positions, and you can adjust those. Well, it's advertised to kind of adjust to different pilots' upper body width or shoulder width. I think that's important, but equally important is you can control a lot of torque offset with that. The dynamic flight system, or the DFS, and that refers to the pucks that are in the swing arms. So the swing arms, like on any paramotor that has swing arms, move vertically. The DFS allows it to move laterally as well. Right now I only have the 1 pucks in there, which are the limiting pucks, so you still have a lot of movement, not a lot of movement, but you have a little bit of movement, more so than on machines that don't have that feature. And they have 4 different levels of pucks, so I will be interested to try that, and I'll let you know what I learned from that. It breaks down very easily. In the video, I'd say it probably took me about 35 minutes to put it all together. That was from when I opened the box to putting it together. I haven't taken it apart since then, but now that I know where everything goes, I would say a 10 to 12 minute, taking it from out of the bag to getting it built would be a reasonable amount of time. Tools to put it together, I honestly think it was just maybe a 5 and a 6 mil Allen wrench. It may have been a 456, but that's it. Everything kind of fits together without tools, which is nice. And that was just for the prop bolts and a couple of the supports on the legs. The steel cable that runs inside of the cage section or the hoop section, which gives it an unbelievable amount of rigidity and at very minimal weight addition. I don't think that there's another cage out there that is going to be that resilient in keeping that tension around the hoop structure. I think it would be very robust in a butt landing type situation. Harness removes a carbon fiber plate, so you have full access to the back of the motor. If you've ever worked on a starter, if you've flown a paramotor long enough, you've worked on a starter eventually, and a lot of times you have to get access to the back of the motor. And sometimes, depending upon the particular unit you have, that can be a nightmare. Some units you even have to pull the motor off to get access to the starter, so that was a really nice feature. At this point, after flying it for 12 hours, I don't have any complaints. I guess if I could change one thing, I would make the base slightly wider. I like to set my paramotor either on like a bench or a box and then get it on my back rather than go down on the ground and get it. And paramotors are made to fly. They're not made to crash, and they're not made to sit on the ground. So it is plenty stable, but I would maybe widen the feet just a little bit to make it more stable when it sits on a box. But that's a pretty nitpicky complaint. If I could change the color, I would. Green's growing on me, but it wasn't my initial favorite color. I do hear in the future that different colors may be in the works. I do like that you're buying from Glider Sports, which is a company that's in the U.S. They're one of the largest importers of Vitarazi motors and parts and accessories. So it's nice to have someone that you're actually purchasing your motor from that imports or purchasing your unit from that imports the motors. So if you do have a problem, they're there, and you can call them, and they'll get that part out to you. They also stock all the spare parts for the Paramotor itself. It's a very modular design, so if you do have an incident or an accident and you do break or bend something, in all likelihood you're not replacing the entire unit. You don't have to take it to a welder, and you can buy those parts very reasonably individually rather than buying entire sections or the entire cage. So then being in the middle of the States, if you're anywhere in the US, it's not going to be long before that part gets to you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or go to Gravity Paramotors, just Google it, it'll come up in Glider Sports there. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Mike Bennett, who's extremely helpful, and all the other guys. Garrett at Glider Sports has been very helpful throughout ordering the motor and getting the motor to me. Excited to have it, fun to fly. I think.
So bad, it chose you.